Hey everyone, it's Boogeyman Ben. Hope everyone's doing well and everyone's having a nice weekend. Today's video is on some reviews that I wanted to do on some movies that I've seen this month in September. I was going to do reviews on them last week, but I wanted last week to be focused on Friday the 13th because of, the documentary and the DVD box or Blu-ray box set that was coming out, so I wanted to focus on that last week. But I did see the new film with Vin Diesel called Riddick, which is a sequel to Pitch Black and Chronicles of Riddick and Dark Fury. And I also did see as well Insidious Chapter 2, which I saw on Friday the 13th last week. So wanted to talk about both of those films, and I promise not to spoil anything for people who haven't seen them, but these are my thoughts on those films, and I hope everyone enjoys this. So to start off, talk about the new Riddick film. Now, I have the other Riddick films. So I have Pitch Black, which I watched actually before I saw the new Riddick film, and I saw it the weekend of September the 6th when it came out. So there's Pitch Black. I don't know if a lot of people are aware of the Chronicles of Riddick Dark Fury, which is actually, Riddick has done, it's an animated movie that takes place in between Pitch Black and Chronicles of Riddick. But Vin Diesel did the voice in this as Riddick. And then also I have Chronicles of Riddick. So the new Riddick film pretty much picks off with the Riddick character being left for dead on this sun-scorched planet. What you come to find out through the course of the film, this isn't giving too much away, is that he's been overthrown by Bake, the Carl Urban character, or Vaco, excuse me, Vaco is his name. So Carl Urban's character, Vaco, they've overthrown Riddick. They've left him for dead on this planet, and he has to learn to survive against the elements. The beginning of the film, I think it's probably like the first half of it, he's pretty much learning to survive and dealing with the inhabitants of this planet, which is a lot of, really kind of creepy monster-type creatures. And the second half of the film is more about him being hunted by mercenaries. I'm not going to say why, but the mercenaries are coming to look for him, and then the rest of the film is sort of dealing with the element of the mercenaries coming after him, as well as what other monsters are on this planet that he's on. So of course Vin Diesel plays Riddick, Carl Urban plays Vaco, you had Katie Sackhoff as Doll, you had Bokeem Woodbine as Moss. You also have Jordi Molia as Santana, and Matt Nable as Boss Johns. And the movie was written and directed by David Toy, I think that's how you say his name, who did the first two Riddick films as well. My thoughts on Riddick were I actually had a really good time with Riddick. I'm a huge Vin Diesel fan, and I'm really glad that he's starting to get back into the action films and revisiting some of these classic characters, like Dominic Toretto from the Fast and Furious films, which, when he left that series, I could have cared less about it. I've always been a big fan of his. I love every film that he's done, even The Pacifier, which is, a kid's movie, but I'm just a big fan of Vin Diesel, and I really liked A Man Apart. I really enjoyed Knockaround Guys, Triple X. I'm trying to think of some other ones he's did. He was great in Saving Private Ryan, even though he had a small part in that. Boiler Room I really enjoyed. But yeah, I really like the Riddick character. I'm glad that he's revisiting this, and I really enjoyed the film. I liked that. It was shot for a very small budget. I think it was shot for $38 million, and actually, I think Vin Diesel even put up his own house to get the film made. So, it was a labor of love. It's a hard R-rated movie, and it's for fans of Pitch Black. PG-13 Chronicles of Riddick didn't do as well, and it had a huge budget, so they scaled it back and made it more personal, like the Pitch Black film. And so I was really happy to see that, and really had a good time with Riddick. I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't seen the film, but there are some. But it is a continuation of the storyline, so it does pick up after Chronicles of Riddick has taken place. So it's not just like a standalone film. It does have ties to those other films. It's just a smaller scale film. But if I gave it, I actually, and people might be shocked by this, but I actually enjoyed it more than Pitch Black. I just thought it was more interesting. I really liked the beginning of it, where Riddick is sort of having to survive against the elements on this planet, and then I thought the ending was pretty kick-ass, and I just love the character, and I hope they do more Riddick films. And I've actually, I've heard rumors that there will be another film. So if I had to give it a grade, I'd probably give it a 9.5 out of 10. I mean, I really had a good time with it. I didn't feel like it was slow or anything like it did. I've heard some people say parts of it are slow and not as involving, but I actually thought it was more involving than Pitch Black, which I'm a big fan of. But really enjoyed the Riddick film, and I recommend that people that are fans of those other films with the character go out and check it out while it's still in theaters. So yeah, excellent film. Now we are on to the sequel to James Wan's Insidious, Insidious Chapter 2. So Insidious Chapter 2 opened last Friday, on Friday the 13th. It actually was huge at the box office, which I'm happy to say. The story was written by Lee Winnell and James Wan. Screenplay was, of course, by Lee Winnell. Cast of characters, it's pretty much the same cast that was in the first movie. So you have Patrick Wilson playing Josh Lambert, Rose Byrne playing Renee Lambert, Barbara Hershey as Lorraine Lambert. You have Lee Winnell as Specs, and Angus Sampson as Tucker. The story for Insidious Chapter 2 picks up exactly where Insidious Chapter 1 left off, which I thought was great. It really reminded me of the 80s horror films that I liked, like Friday the 13th, Halloween, where it's it's almost like Halloween 2, where it picks up right after the last frame that you saw in Chapter 1. That pretty much it picks up from there. But yeah, it deals with what happened to the Josh Lambert character once he got his son back from the other side, pretty much. And I don't want to spoil any of this film, but this movie made me jump and pretty much scared the piss out of me. Especially the first hour of it was very creepy. There's a character played by an actress named Danielle Bisutti. That's how you say her name, but her character is fucking creepy, and I think she's creepier than anything that was in the first Insidious film. I'm not going to say who she is in the film, or you can kind of see her in the trailer where she's kind of a Rose Byrne's character. Renee walks past the couch, and then she walks back again, and the woman's standing there, and all of a sudden she sort of moves like this through the room. That woman scared the shit out of me, and I actually yelled out loud in the theater because she just is fucking creepy. And she did a great job scaring me. My thoughts on the film were I had a blast with it. Did I like it as much as The Conjuring? No. I thought The Conjuring was a better film, but I think that film was just a lot creepier in tone. Insidious, I've always been a fan of. I really like the first Insidious, and I like the sequel just as much as I like the first one. So I mean, it's a great continuation of the story. There's a lot of things in the film that I'd like to talk about, but I'm not going to blow them for people who haven't seen the film. But I will say give it a chance and go out and check it out. I mean, it seems to be doing really well, and it has a good following. But yeah, I really had a good time with Insidious Chapter 2. I would recommend it to fans of the first one because it does continue the story, which I really liked, and it brings back the core characters from the first film. Score for me would be 9.5 out of 10. Really enjoyed the film, and I recommend it to anybody who enjoyed the first one, and go check it out, please. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got for today. Just wanted to talk about some movies I'd seen, something I wanted to do last week and just didn't have the chance. For next week, the big releases that are coming out next week that I want to get, Psycho 2 and Psycho 3 are finally coming out from Scream Factory, excuse me. And I'm really looking forward to them, and I want to get them, but, it's like I'm going to have to wait for them because I had to pre-order them, and I probably won't get them till later in the week, probably Thursday or Friday next week. So my reviews for those films will be next weekend. I also want to pick up Bates Motel, which was released on DVD. I love that television show, and I will talk about, the DVD set. And then going into October, there's a lot of great films coming out. This Is the End is coming out, which was one of my favorite films this year. You also have The Curse of Chucky, which I'm really, really looking forward to seeing. So there's a lot of great stuff for horror fans out there, and I promise to do reviews on everything as soon as I get a hold of them. And I want to thank everybody for the continued support of this page, and I hope everyone has a great rest of their weekend, and thanks so much for watching. Take it easy. Peace.